Don't be like me and underestimate how much work it is to Z the front of a frame on an old truck, because I figured I could do it in 2 days. No, it's not. This is day 3, I believe, and I'm not even halfway done. So in my last video, you saw me cut the bottom of the frame off so that when I lower the truck all the way, it will lay on the rockers rather than the frame. So now I know it's able to lay down on the body when I lower the truck all the way down. So now the truck is sitting in my garage level, and I measured to the bottom of the rockers to the floor, and it's 17 inches when it's up on jack stands. And then I installed my A-arms and my front wheel and put that at full drop and measured from the bottom of the tire to the floor, and that's 14 inches. So that tells me that I need to get the front suspension to be able to drop 3 extra inches. And so to do that, I'm doing what they call Z-ing the frame. So I'm going to cut the frame on the front side and the back side of the suspension, raise it up 3 inches, and then weld that all together. And that will allow my wheels to sit 3 inches higher in relation to the bottom of the truck. Therefore, my front end will get low enough for my truck to lay rockers. I am not a professional fabricator. I've never done anything like this before. This is my first time ever doing anything like it. I'm kind of winging it, kind of did some research. There's not really a whole lot out there on how to do it. And so I just came up with my own way, and this is how I did it. So if you want to do it as well, do it at your own risk. Don't blame me if it doesn't work out for you, but it's going to work out for me. I'm ready to Z my frame. I got my lines marked out. I'm going to cut right on the insides of these tape marks. I got those measured. They're parallel with each other and equal distance over there. And I welded in these feet. I have 1 behind the cut on each side, 2 inside the cut, and 3 in front of the cut. And then I made this little frame here just to frame everything in so that the front and the back on the outsides of the Z stay in perfect position so they don't move out of alignment and mess up the whole truck. I got these 1x2 square tubing, and they are just over 3 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these into 4 pieces and then tack weld them together. And then once I have my Z cut, I'm going to stack them underneath these so that it brings all 4 corners up equally 3 inches. And I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it, but that's the best way that I can think of. And I'm excited about that. So this is kind of working out okay, kind of not. So I made these blocks, 3 inches, set it up on these legs, and it's up 3 inches, right? So the thing that I learned is this frame here is at about a 4-degree angle going in on the bottom. So the top is out more than the bottom. So when you raise it up, you get a gap because this is in more than this. So this is out, this is in, there's your gap. I made it equal on the other side, and I tried to pull it over. But that's just, I don't think that's the way to do it. And I don't know the way to do it. All right, so I got my frame Z'd 3 inches. It is not finished yet. I underestimated how much work it would be. I thought it would be a lot quicker. But I got my forward fish plate on. No problems there. That fit perfectly together. And then since on this side, the frame was at a 3-degree angle, so when you lifted it up, the top was outboard more and the bottom was inboard more, and so there was a gap, as I showed you a minute ago. So my solution for that was to make a double fish plates, only on the front half of the frame. So I made this fish plate right here that just covers this front part of the frame. And then I made this bigger one to go over the top of it. So if you can't really see it there, so it's 2 pieces of cardboard. These are my templates for my fish plates, and that's how they stack up right there. This is a 3/16 plate, and that was perfect to come up with the gap between the two. And I'm really happy with it, and I think it's going to be super strong, because this is going to be the weak point of the whole frame, right? The whole Z right here. So I wanted to make sure it's strong, and I'm really happy with the doubler. I greatly underestimated how much work it was going to be to do this frame, but I'm happy with what I've done. I've been working on it for like 5 or 6 hours now, and what I did was after I cut the frame, I welded these 1x2 inch blocks on the bottom of the feet. That went right here, and that brought it up exactly 3 inches. And then I measured about 40 times to make sure everything was square and make sure everything was just, you know, the way it should be, because I only want to do this once. I don't want to do it again. So I'm really happy with the progress I made today. I figured I could do a lot more in one day, but I can't quite. But I know tomorrow I'm going to be able to get a lot more done, because I got all my measuring done and I already have my templates for my fish plates, and I can just swap those right over to the other side easily. And I don't know what I'm going to do about boxing in the frame on the insides of the rails here, because the rails on the inside cuts kind of like snake around, and it's not flat, so it's not going to be just straightforward, put a sheet on there and weld it in. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that yet, but I don't know, I'm going to have to do something, but we'll see. I got the fish plates done on the passenger side, and I triangulated, you can see it over there, the cuts in there as well. I haven't done that to the back ones yet, only to the front ones, because I want to do one thing at a time. I'm thinking I'm not going to box this in. Only thing this is supporting is going to be the radiator, maybe a little weight from the front fender and grill and stuff. So this is going to be okay, but I've definitely got to box this in. That needs to be boxed in for sure, because that's going to be the weak point of the truck if that's not done right. Zing that frame was a lot more work than I expected. I don't know why I expected me to be able to do that in 2 days, but that's more than 2 days worth of work. So, and then I did my fish plate, so I got the doubler there. Then I boxed it in, only in the back side of the Z. I didn't do it in the front because the frame is so wonky, and there's really not going to be a whole lot of support needed right there. So I just triangulated it and then put another fish plate on the inside. Same with there, and that's going to be strong enough. And you don't need, and you need more than that on the back, I think. So I did box it in, and I connected it to the boxing I put on the edge of where I cut the frame off of there, and then I connected it to where I boxed the frame in for my K-member. And I'm not going to box in the front, but I am going to put in these notches now, and that's going to be my next thing to do. So here's a look at the full notch. 3 inches. So that's how I Z'd my frame. It was a lot of work. It took twice as long at least than what I thought it would be. But I think in the end I did a pretty good job, and it's, I hope, going to be strong enough to support the weight for the truck for many, many years. But I'm not a professional. I've never done this before. I didn't have any experience with this, and I just did some research and didn't find a whole lot. But I'm going to be lifting the truck up about every month and inspecting everything and making sure there's no cracks and making sure I'm not going to die from this thing if one side breaks, and you know, it could be dangerous if it broke. But my welds got good penetration. Some of them are a bit shitty looking because I learned a lot about welding I learned a lot about welding doing this because, you know, I'm a beginner welder and I just bought the welder for this project, and there was a lot of welding on this Z. And I learned where I suck and where I need work. And I also learned a lot of technique and got to play around with my puddles. And so my welding is good quality on there, even though some of it looks like crap. As you saw, I did grind some of it down to kind of make it look better, and paint's gonna cover up a lot and make it look really good. And I'm really fucking happy to be done with this Z. It took so long and it started to feel like a chore and I didn't want to do it anymore. I really had to motivate myself to come out here today and do it. And I'm glad I did, because now I'm done. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. You can see more. You want to see this truck when it's done because it's going to be sweet. Hit the little bell if you want to be notified when I do new videos. I try to put one out every week, but sometimes it's every other week, but whatever. Yeah, so see ya. I say that looks pretty sweet. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to grab a fender and hold it up there and get a little video of what it looks like so that I can stare at it later. Right about like that. So there's that. Get a nice good long look at it. Make sure it's centered. That's dope looking from here. I can't wait to see this on camera.